Hi, everybody. This is Vladimira, Kuna, and I have a beautiful Danielle Martins, who is an international best-selling author of the book Mental Slavery. And I absolutely love having Danielle here. And she's a branding and marketing expert, a very amazing one and unique one. And, you know, she's a marketing specialist, branding manager at the Housemark Publishing International, and best-selling author, as well as international speaker. I hope I didn't leave anything out, Danielle, but hi, welcome.
Thank you so much, my dear, for having me in your program. Okay, I have been watching you for a long time. I admire all of that you are doing there, you know, and you remind a lot of me when I was beginning to establish my personal brand, and you are doing fantastic.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Well, you have over 23 years in a marketing industry experience, and with big corporations as well as authors world. And I am an author, so I know how very important it is for us to find an expertise in positioning ourselves to find the success and become a memorable personal brand. I love that. It's on your profile. It says memorable personal brand, because we all would love to be unique, not like, you know, like we are unique already being who we are. And then it's like we have unique fingerprints, and also our branding should be unique. So I wanted to ask you, so you're international bestseller, you can just tell us something a little about the book, and then we can talk about your beautiful expertise.
Yeah, indeed, I'm almost 24 years now. I'm completing almost 24 years now in the marketing industry, you know, and yeah, the book was born because I was a transformational coach, like my side business, the thing that I like to do to, you know, get rid of the pressure of the time, you know, but I knew what it was necessary for me to have a successful launching and also a good positioning of myself as someone, as a professional in the marketing. So the book was born in a masterminding conversation with my dear friend Katarina Kozayas. And by the time we were discussing that, it's incredible how both of us are in complete different career paths. She was a radio host and on-camera host. I was a transformational coach. And we understood that both of our clients, although the paths completely different, they were being blocked by the very same, you know, mindsets and you know, limiting beliefs. And we thought, why don't we launch a book so we can have a tool to help us with our coaching clients? You know, we were not writing a book for the sake of selling and getting rich and this and that, but we wanted a tool that would also add credibility for us, okay, in what we were already doing, but that would make it easy for our coaching client to get started in the concept of the subconscious mind, the limiting beliefs. And so this is how the book was born, okay? But because of our combined backgrounds, myself in marketing and branding, and herself in the PR industry, we knew that it's not about just come here, show your book to the world and say, here, buy it. No, this is not how we do this. We used the book in a way that it magnified our personal brands in the market, you know, and it indeed became more successful than what we expected it to, you know, because this is our first book, you know, but we were not expecting that it would be so positive in this role, that to positioning and giving credibility and authority for our personal brands. And so just to come over a little bit in time and bring it back to the days, I am not a transformational coach anymore. You know, I decided to stick only to my DNA, you know, which is marketing and branding. But what I realized was that I could transfer the same kind of knowledge that I have applied to myself, and of course not knowledge that I have acquired because I'm certified, okay? I have been in courses and trainings, you know, about branding and personal branding, and I decided to expand this knowledge for the entrepreneur, for the authors, you know. So that's why I put together here author. I used to say authorpreneurs, you know, I combine the two words together.
Yeah.
But because, you know, this is so important these days to develop and to manage, conscious, strategic manage your personal brand in order for you to have a great positioning in the market, build your authority, gain increased credibility, you know, and the benefits don't stop like by this time. Yeah. Oh my God, I forgot how to say the right word in
right.
English.
You're doing amazing.
But you understood. You know, there are tons of benefits, and indeed, people these days, because it's one of the most researched terms on Google, personal brand, they are getting the awareness that it's important for themselves, you know, and it's not a very, you know, it's the term personal brand is not something so new. Okay, it was the first time it was mentioned in an article. It was in the 90s with Tom Peters, in which he wrote about the importance of you see yourself as a company and acting like the CEO of yourself. So at the end of the day, we want to make the conscious management of our personal brand in order to achieve those that public most accurate perception we can. But please keep sending questions because I get excited.
I love. No, it's the best. It's actually best hearing it from the expert and knowing. And I really like, I used to be a person, so I bring it to myself, where social media was like, whoa, I was like goosebumps, not in a great way. I just didn't want to be anywhere. But I've learned that it's the intention, and that's why I love what you said. It's actually the intention. That's why your book became so successful. You said you didn't expect it. Obviously in the mindset we always expect the best, but still it happened because of the intention you set, and your intention was to actually help others and bring out the message that really impacts positively other people. And that is the whole point. And I love, and I'm gonna actually, I'm gonna tell everyone, you know, like it was funny because I personally asked a question to Danielle where I thought the logo was part of the branding, and she said to me, no, Vladi, it's not. So, you know, like, could you actually tell the viewers and the beautiful audience?
It is part of the branding, but it's not your brand, okay? And it's where most people get confused because they think, having a personal brand is about having a beautiful logo, a beautiful social media profile, and this, you know, no, this is only part of the process of the external perception the public will have about you. But at the end of the day, your personal brand, okay, is the mark you leave in people's minds and hearts. How do you leave a mark in their minds and hearts? Through the interactions you hold with them, be it online or offline. That's why we don't say that we when people come to me, for example, the most asked question is, but is personal branding about building a fake version of myself? And I say absolutely not, you know, because the difference is you already have a personal brand, okay? Most people don't know this. They don't know that they already have a brand, but there are some people that they know and they strategically manage it, okay? So what the personal branding process does is to show to you the best ways to manage your personal brand, okay? That's why we separate the terms. Personal brand is the mark you leave in people's minds and hearts. Personal branding with ING is the conscious strategic management of this brand. Okay, and why we talk about consciously, strategically managing it. Because through all the interactions, you are leaving something of your own people's minds, okay? If you are a professional, for example, you are an entrepreneur, and you want to launch, let's suppose, a new business or a new product or a new service, okay? What differentiates you from the competition? You know, because we are in the most amazing era of all times where information is so available for everyone that it's difficult for you to find people who are not qualified. However, how do you, in this sea of highly qualified professionals, how do you, stand out? How do you show to more people the value you have in your delivery, the value of your programs, of your products, of your services? Let's suppose you are looking for that career job that you want in that corporate. How do you stand out in order that they see, the recruiters see that you are the right person for that specific job application, by working on your personal brand, by consciously managing it. And there are some people that they have the doubt, oh, but is it about being fake? No, because people connect with people, not with products and services.
Yes,
okay, so you cannot come here and present a fake version of yourself and sustain this same version for a long period of time. We call this incoherence. It's inconstant with your personality. But we know that strategically, intentionally managing your personal brand, you know that if you want to, be positioned as a trustable professional, as someone who really knows your skill, who really have the knowledge to do the work you say you do, of course we need to dance according to the music, okay? You would not go to the bakery wearing the very same clothes that you would go to a gala dinner. You understand? However, in both situations, there is something that it's still true for you. If you are not someone to dress like all the colors of the rainbow at the same time, in both of the places, you are not going to dress something like this. You are going to the bakery, respecting your personal style, and you go to the gala dinner respecting your personal style, the same way we do in the interactions we have with people. You never know who is in front of you. You never know, be it online or offline. You never know if this person will be your next client. You never know if this person will be your next collaborator, business partner. So we work in a way that we are always ready, to cause the very best first impression, because you don't have two chances to cause a first best impression.
That's what my grandma used to say all the time. You make a first impression once, and that's
only once. Can you change a wrong or unequivocated? Yes, you can, but it takes so much effort. It takes so much work. It's better to be always prepared.
And I love what you're saying, because actually it comes down, it doesn't matter how many of us, everybody can be successful. And if people don't view everything as a competition, but about growing themselves, this is why I love you. You are such a mindset expert. So when professional is actually working with the mindset, to me, it's a heavenly combination. It's like a top a prize we can win if we actually have an expert who works with the mindset. Because one of my favorite sentences in corporate is, management is not about direction of things, it's about developing people. So if when you said manage yourself, imagine you're a CEO of your own company and manage yourself. If you can actually walk the walk and talk the talk, then the whole ripple effect, you're creating such a successful company, because it's not just about us, it's about how much we give. And that's why I love what you're doing with the book and your message, and how much very uniqueness you're bringing to everyone. It's so important, because to me, a highest, truest version of yourself, which is authentic, that is my number one thing. I just love, everybody's perfect in a way what they're doing, but we can always get better. So exactly. I wanted to know, what's the difference between a personal and corporate brand when you're talking about them?
Okay, very good question, Vlad. So if you observe in the marketing, you see ever more corporate brands becoming more human in the way they interact, in the way they communicate to the others. Why this happens? Because once again, people don't connect with products or services. People connect with people. Yes. Would you ever say, oh, I have a great dinner with that company? I just dinner with Coca-Cola. No, you don't dinner with Coca-Cola. Even though if it's the CEO or the human resource, you are going to dinner with someone. Yes. And firstly, before you sell to before the selling process is always done from someone to another one. And the difference is exactly like this, is they are humanizing their voice more, so they get more involved in the human world, that we perceive, okay, behind that desk, behind that decisions, behind that campaign, we know that there are human beings that care about other human beings. And for ourselves, the personal brand, okay, once again, everyone has a brand, okay? And the difference is that we manage it consciously, once again, because we never know who is in front of us. For example, I give a very good example to my clients, that if you are going to an event, Vladimira, you are going to be a keynote speaker in an event, and you decide that you are going to take some pens to distribute that as a merchandising, and it has your name and your contacts, okay? However, understand that this pen is a spokesperson, quote unquote, of your brand. The quality of it, the kind of material, if it's plastic, if it's metal, the quality of the inking running on the paper, does it run smoothly? Does it stop, interrupt my thinking? The quality of this pen talks about the quality standards you care about, you understand? So yes. These are the unconscious perceptions that we acquire about people, and also as corporate brands, okay? But once again, these signs, these are little signs, that are not that explicit, but at the end of the day, they construct something about a perception I have about yourself. You understand? So yes. The difference is exactly this. The corporate brands, they are becoming more human because they want to connect better with other human beings. And we, personal brands, we are becoming more professional in the way we interact with people, because caring about all of those details will send out a message. And understand that a brand is not what you say it is. My brand is not what I say it is how people perceive us. Okay?
I love that.
And that's why the managing of the brand is important, because we want to orchestrate experiences in which people feel good about ourselves. Okay, let's talk about personal brands. But we want people to feel good about ourselves. We want our delivery to exceed their expectations. Why? Because we want them to feel that they won when they came to us. And much more, I'm not talking about only the business side of because once again, the way you are offline with your friends, with your family, also builds up, develop your brand, your perception in people's mind. And that's the main difference. It's only about you thinking of yourself as a company, and the companies, they are humanizing more themselves in a way that you know, we don't launch with companies. We launch with people. We dinner with people. We do business with people. And the main purpose of this conscious management is to build trust, because you can never buy from someone you don't trust. You can never buy a product you don't trust. You understand?
Absolutely.
But for you to build trust, you need to follow a series of steps that will help you with this. First of all, being authentic, but not that kind of authenticity that you come to social media and make social media your personal psychologist. No, we are not talking about this. Being authentic is in the way you show up, being true to your voice, to the solution you want to the market. You know, being authentic is important for you to sustain that version of yourself for, you know, we don't say long period of time, but you know, as long as you can,
as long as possible.
It's not, it becomes effortless for you if you are true to yourself. However, once again, professionalism is always welcome, and this to create trust between you and the target you want to achieve.
I love this, Danielle. You know, it's one of my lately I've been watching Oprah Winfrey, actually, and she interviewed someone, and that's what she said. Obviously, somebody was asking her a top tips throughout her life, and she said, I always made sure I build trust between myself and my audience. And I thought, wow, I just love, I mean, not that we haven't heard it before, but you know, like sometimes you're just so ready for the message, which is so true. And this is exactly what you're saying. And you know, it's something where we don't realize how much important it is, because as you said, it's perception. And just because I'm being the way I'm being, I don't know how to put it out there, you know, like, because at the beginning for me, social media was like, oh, kind of scary. I was like, I didn't want to really post about myself, but like, and that's what you're saying. It's like having a message everywhere, not over on that platform I'm posting that my website said something else, and then people get confused. So it's also, and sometimes we're not intentionally doing it, but we might get like, I don't know what actually is needed. So it's so important to actually be successful, because like you said, to create the trust, you need to know what you're doing. And being a mindset coach, I've learned transformation, it takes a change, and sometimes changing means I have to change my beliefs and perception. Otherwise, it's just something I've learned, and maybe something that I picked up in an environment or the way I grew up. I mean, not to criticize, no judgment, but you know, it's like not believing certain things, whereas the world is changing. So if we really want to be successful, so when people would come to you, what can they expect you can help them? Like say anyone, whether it's personal or corporate, what can you help them with?
Yeah, exactly. And one of the great things, just pulling back here a little bit for the personal brand, you know, the personal development is a great tool for the beginning of the personal brand, because if you don't know who you are, if you don't know your message, if you don't know your purpose here, okay, once again, we cannot build that strategic plan for you if you don't know exactly what you want, you know. And part of the personal branding process also involves the personal development, okay, at the very beginning, so you can gain more clarity about yourself, about your message, about your solution. And then there are other aspects like the market positioning, the target audience, okay, the ways that you can go and you know, attract that target audience, okay. Once again, as you said about social media, how you communicate, how is it, you know, what is the tone of the voice you need to use to attract those clients, the you know, the style of communication. We need to also be professional but respect the personal style okay, of each individual.
Yes.
And just like the corporate brands, it works just the same. We think about what is the main idea, what is the one feeling I want people to feel because they have come in contact with me, because they consume it from my brand. How do I want them to see themselves, to feel about themselves because they consume it from us? And be it a corporate brand or personal brand, we have a central idea, and around this idea we develop all the aspects of the brand. Okay, once again, let's talk about the brand or the logo. Okay, most people get confused. Your logo is not a brand. Your logo is only a part of the communication of your brand. You understand? Your color palette also is, but once again, doing a study, you know, according to your personality, talking about personal brands, okay, to your personalities, the niche market you are entering in, all of these are all combined together, you know, so you don't have what you said, you know, that scattered image, that scattered efforts, because if you scatter your efforts, you end up becoming very tired and reaching out to nobody, you know. It's very important to have like a GPS on how do I consciously and intentionally manage my touch points, the people who I interact with, you know. This is all part of like a DNA, and you have the notion, the awareness of DNA, and you can manage it.
I love that. I absolutely love that. I'm like, I've learned a lot listening to you, and I've learned a lot actually knowing you, and it's so important because it's just like such a powerful way we can help people, but we need to also, we need the guidance. Like, you know, I remember when I went to transformation, and now I guide clients to actually find their purpose and goals. However, it's like, I love the sentence Bob Proctor said, you must have so much confidence, always wanting to learn, and not too much confidence, not wanting to learn. And I've heard a message from somewhere, one of these studies we're doing, where they said there is not a single thing and a person in a life you meet or come across or experience that can not teach you something. The question is, are you teachable? And I thought, wow, this is good. Are we saying, oh, this challenge is here because what am I supposed to learn in there? And actually personal branding and all the marketing and stuff, I've had a different perception on it than I do now. And I see the very deep importance because it was perceived differently years and years ago. It was there, like you were talking about this, you know, it wasn't like it didn't exist. But things are changing, and sometimes things move so much faster than we. So it's already working. We can have such a better, easier way of working and living and presenting ourselves, but we are holding tight to something old because we don't like change. We just don't like change, being changed. We like a change, but we don't want to change, you know, as a human being. I'm like, I like my comfort zone. And this is why successful people move forward and they see what works, but keep it unique. So like you said, do it, but find someone like you where you actually can bring out me as a person, as what I have to offer and how much I can serve people. I love that. I love that, Danielle. Is there anything else you would love to add to this beautiful audience?
You know, one of the quotes that I like to do, to say is always, because once again, we are in the most amazing era, you know, information is there for everyone, but, you know, people still, once again, picking up a little bit on your own works right now, they are still their comfort zone is to do it yourself, everything. And I say, don't do it yourself with your career, please.
That was me. That was me.
No, it's because the time will pass anyway. You are going to spend resources anyway, and you know, time is our most scarce, exactly, most precious assets these days. We cannot keep doing all the things and try and keep, you know, and the time will pass anyway. Why not to do it the right way, right from the beginning, you know? Why not to hire someone, you know, as the transformational world? Why trying to figure out all it alone when you can go faster with someone like you to help them to, understand about themselves and about their potential. It makes no sense,
And also, I love what you said, because it keeps down the focus, like you're talking about branding and the niche, and it's so important. There are 8 billion people, something over 8 billion, so over 4 billion online. We don't really want to target everyone. We want someone who's aligned with our message, because we can help them. And this is why there is like a market for everything and everybody, if you're uniquely, because there are people, like there hasn't been a story told which people they couldn't resonate with. So like, oh, that reminds me of something. We do resonate with stories. And I love what you said, because that was me at the beginning. I was like, oh, I need to save money. I can do all this. In fact, I wasted so much time. I didn't save money, because then when you doing something new, you're doing it right, it gives you great foundation. What happens if you're not doing it right? You have to go back and either start again, change everything you already spent money and time and energy on. And it's just really, in a long run and the long view, it doesn't really help.
Exactly. And Les Brown has a quote that I love very much, and I say all the time: people do business with those they know, like, and trust. And remember, I told you, trust is the ultimate goal of any personal or corporate brand. So the trust will only be built if people find you in a coherent way, in every way you show up. Okay, this is how important it is to be intentional about your personal brand or corporate brand also.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much, Danielle. I will put Danielle's contact details under the interview, so please, you can reach out to her. Any questions you have or you would love to help her to help you, just contact her. I'm sure she can just take it from there. But I absolutely love and appreciate you. Congratulations on being an international bestseller. And I love your journey, like how it led you from one purpose to another, to a higher purpose. In a great way, it served you being a transformational coach from before, because now you can put it into your passion and transform even further, like in many other ways. Thank you so much for the way you are and showing up and everything. I love you.
Thank you, my dear. It was a real pleasure to be here. I'm going to buy your book because I'm so curious to read it,
Thank you.
And thank you so much. You are doing a great job.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Bye, everyone.